Time has come to say goodnight. For every road must end to the ones who care and are always there. A very special friend. Let's say goodnight to those we love and maybe shed a tear. But before we close, let's think of those we love who can be here. Let's raise a glass to absent friends. For every road must end. You'll always be there in our hearts, a special absent friend. And when it's time for us to go and our long journey ends, you'll never be alone to see. You'll be with absent friends. So let's raise a glass to absent friends. For every road must end. You'll always be there in our hearts, a special absent friend.
Good evening, everyone. Just Bridgeman here. I'd just like to say a few words for the passing of Jimmy Bell. It was his funeral today, and it was attended by all the Rangers, the present squad, and a few from the past, good friends of Jimmy's. Jimmy was a kit man for Rangers for something like 30 years. A great character with all the Rangers fans. They loved him, his own song, everything. So very sad passing away a couple of weeks ago. But it was his cortege went past Ibrox today, and there was loads of fans there throwing scarves onto the hearse. So all I can say is, by the way, from everybody at Rangers Radio, huge respect for Jimmy Bell. Huge respect. R.I.P. Jimmy. Good night.
And we're joined on the show tonight by the three old gits in their carer. We've got myself, Fox, Albert, and of course Bridgeman and Billy Boy were carer. Good evening, guys.
Good evening, guys. Good evening.
I thought I was a carer there for a minute. Good evening, guys. How are you all doing?
Very good, guy. Well, it's been a bit of a week so far, and the Scottish Cup final to look forward to tomorrow. So we'll have a wee look back, because none of you have been on since the final on Wednesday, and we'll have your points of view on it. So we'll start with you, Bridgeman. If you can come off mute, or do we have to get the carer for you?
No, the carer. He can sit back and relax. Everyone's cool. Can I just say that I think the game Wednesday night was a really good game for us. A real fight, a dog fight in the midfield. I thought we did very well on it. I think that team technically better than us, but it didn't show out too much. But they were technically better than us, and they had a lot of pressure on us for a number of minutes. Whenever they got the ball, they caused problems. They had a number of, shall we say, a number of chances. So if you look at the possession was 48-52, and that was in our favour. So based on the stats, we had 52% of the possession. The total shots in the game was 22 for them and 14 for us. Shots on target, 4 for them and 6 for us, Corners, 11 and 2 for us. Fouls, 18 and 10 for us. So they were worse in the fouling, and I honestly think there could have been a far more, shall we, serious referee would have had one red card there. But other than that, I think Rangers played quite well, and I'm very happy with them. I didn't find a fault. I won't find a fault with any of our players. They took us to a final. They got there, and unfortunately we get beat with 1 goal and a penalty shootout. But an incredible achievement. Well done, guys, and thanks for all the highs and lows. All welcome.
Okay, Bridgeman, we'll go to Billy Boy now.
Aye, Bridgeman, along similar lines, mate. I thought we started the game a wee bit slow, and we looked a wee bit overawed to start with, but we grew into the game. I thought we grew into it. It's just one of the things. I mean, when you think how good we've done to get into the final with what we had at our disposal, i.e. with no strikers, and a striker that's only half fit, only one recognised winger type thing. But I'm very, very proud of our team, but obviously disappointed at the same time because we scraped the paint off that trophy, did we know? You know what I mean? We had one hand on it, and to get beaten a penalty shootout, you know what I mean? That was a bit tough, But listen, we're Rangers. It's in our DNA to, when we get kicked and fall down, we roll our socks up and we get back on with it. That's what we're all about.
Well said, Billy. Albert?
I mean, everything's been said about it. I've been listening to it all week. The only thing different I've got to say is we didn't play Frankfurt. We played the conditions, let's be honest, and so did Frankfurt. They played the conditions as well. It was too warm to play football. I mean, it was ridiculous. So our game was about pressing, and if we'd have played the way we played in Leipzig, we'd have beat them. We know we would have beat them. They knew they would have beat them. So they tried to get it our way, the game our way in the first half hour. They went hell for leather the first half hour and tried to get it our way. We survived that. I didn't think we were ever actually in the game as such as a game of football. I thought it was very poor because of the conditions. Few players no quite at it, but they weren't playing their normal game, remember. We're trying to conserve energy, and it worked. It worked, but it didn't work to win the game over the 90 minutes, but it worked. They didn't beat us over the 90 minutes. They didn't beat us over extra time. It went to penalty. So, all in all, the tactics worked. It got us right through. We didn't want to get a penalty. Of course we did. We wanted to win it, but it was out our hands. The conditions were never going to allow for a fast-flowing football. And if the conditions were cooler, we'd have played our own natural game. I think we'd have beat them. I really do think we would have beat them. But we didn't. Went to penalties. We missed a penalty, and that's slivers. It's just inches. But the team done brilliant to get there, and they done well in the final, considering everything that was against them. Fantastic. I loved it. Didn't like getting beat, but I loved the team and loved what they done. Excellent, guys. 10 out of 10 for you.
I agree with you there, Rad. I said last night on the programme that I thought the conditions was bad for both sides. I don't think it allowed both sides to play their natural game, how they had played within the competition. We play a high pressing game, they play a quick on the attack, break counter attack. Counter attack was the word I was looking for there. And I don't think both sets of fans go to see their team playing at their best because of the conditions. But anyway, that's over and done with, and in the past, and people have happy memories of going over there and having a splendid 4 or 5 days over there in the company of fellow Bears. It's a memory that I've had myself when I was in Barcelona in 72, and it's a thing that I've never forgotten in my lifetime. So I hope all the boys, after the disappointment, comes away for you a little bit, that they can take fond memories from this week and our exploits in the Europa League. Anyway, time to move on, and the big day tomorrow, Scottish Cup final. Time we won this, we've not won it since I think it was the 2008-2009 season when we beat Falkirk 1-0 with an actual Novo goal. I don't know if any of you remember that, just after half time.
Remember it well.
Oh. Absolutely, mate.
First touch of the ball. Excuse me.
Was that Fox? Sorry, Fox. Was that no when Big Walter took Big Boydie off, and Walter says Big Boydie says it's too warm to play football out there, and we Nacho came on and he scored with the first kick of the ball. That in fact, Scotty Arfield was playing for Falkirk that day, if I remember right.
Aye. Well remembered, Billy.
Big Boydie came up, said it was too warm, and then he left. I think he left us that season and signed for a Turkish team. he couldn't make that up, by the way.
I forgot about that. That's a belter.
He had it in his contract. He only played in cold days. That was a bad goal, I must admit. First touch of the ball from a throw in, and he'll put a nice big high one. Keeper lost.
Was it a ball into the box or a strike for goal? What do you think? Honest opinion.
Strike for goal for me.
Strike for goal, okay. We'll settle for that then. Anyway, before we can carry on the discussion, the manager had a press conference today, and I think we'll listen to that. If you don't mind, boys, if you go on mute, we'll hear from our manager, Gio Van Bronckhorst.
Gio, commiserations first on the results on Wednesday evening. A difficult night for you all, particularly difficult for Alan, of course. From his point of view, is he in a mindset where you would have to think twice about playing him tomorrow? Or is he in the mindset where he's exactly where you want him to be to play tomorrow, that determination and frustration to put things right?
Well, as you said, we all had the disappointment of Wednesday's game, the result of it, and of course Aaron as well. He was very down after the game. Also yesterday still. So we needed to lift him up. We need to lift up every player in the squad. But we are focusing now on the final, and we have to take the loss as a team. We have to support each other as a Rangers family, and make sure we are ready for the game tomorrow to play the final against Hearts. But yeah, obviously Aaron is very down, but we are lifting him up. And, he has all my support, all the support of his teammates. And I'm sure he will feel the same support in the stadium tomorrow when the fans will also welcome him and my team.
Hi, Giovanni. Can you just talk me through the fitness of the squad at the moment after the game? Obviously, a tight turnaround after the match in Spain, going the full distance as you've done many times this season, and particularly, obviously, those forward options. Joe Rebo looked like gave it his absolute all, everything he had in the tank, and Kima obviously came on for the final sort of phases of the game. Can you just talk us through where the squad's at the minute?
Yeah, well, we had a tough game also because we played 120 minutes in very difficult circumstances, with the warmth, but. Yeah, it took a lot out of us, but we had a good recovery today. All players who were involved on Thursday, except Borna, is not available for tomorrow. All the other players who started or were involved in the squad are also available for tomorrow.
Thanks, Nick. Good afternoon, Giovanni. Calvin Bassey earning a lot of plaudits for his performance in the final. There's reported interest this morning. How impressed were you with his performance in the final, and how much would you like him to stay at Ibrox for a long time?
Well, I was very impressed with his performances. I think Calvin is playing really well in the last couple of months. I think his development as a player, as a person, is amazing to see. I love working with him, and if you see the games he played, especially in Europe, semi-final, quarterfinals, also the final, he played really well. So I'm really happy for him because it will benefit his development as a player. He's still young. He's 22, but he's very open to advice. He wants to be stronger and better every day. So for me, it's ideal for me to work with him, and of course, I want to work as long as possible with Kelvin. But if you have these performances in Europe, then you will get attention. But I hope to see him for as long as possible in my team.
Hi, good afternoon, Giovanni. I was going to ask you a wee bit on your team selection tomorrow, and obviously not asking you for any giveaways on who you might select. But if it came to regarding Alex Lowry, he's been very good for you in the small cameos that he's played. Would you consider him tomorrow, and would you be excited to see him play tomorrow at Hampden if he gets a chance and opportunity?
Well, I'm excited to see all my players play tomorrow. But as you said, Alex is of course, a big talent for us. Who his breakthrough was this year, and hopefully he can extend that development as well. He started some games in the last weeks, but the prospect of him getting stronger and stronger is also pushing me to help him. And he will be in the squad tomorrow, and hopefully he can also play a part in this game.
Hi, Giovanni. How much, obviously you had a very mentally and physically demanding game on Wednesday night, but you've been in this position before this season, and then you beat Celtic in the Scottish Cup semi-final, taken to extra time by Braga. How much confidence does your performances after these kind of European occasions give you going into the final?
Well, I have a lot of confidence in my team, their ability to regroup and to recover from big games. Of course, the final was a big game for us. We didn't have the outcome we wanted, but I think overall it was a good experience for my team to play in such a big game. It's part of the game when you are in finals, especially in Europe, that you come so far, and even though you're very close in achieving silverware, the disappointment will be very big. All the big teams in Europe who play in Champions League finals, Europa League finals, there can only be one winner, and a big team is losing. So. But we have to said we have another game tomorrow, a very important game, because it can mean that we win silverware this season. That's what we want. That's our aim and also our focus now. And I have full confidence that my team will be ready tomorrow when the whistle goes.
Hi, Gio. Obviously, throughout the Scottish Cup campaign, you've gone with John McLaughlin in goals. I just wonder if you're going to stick with that decision tomorrow, and if so, is that difficult decision given that the uncertainty over whether Alan will continue?
Well, it's I've started John in the cup campaign this year. I think he did really well in all the games we played. Especially as well in the semi-final against Celtic, and so for me, it would be change to change him. So we gave him the confidence in the cup competition. So. He will still have the confidence tomorrow from me, from my staff, and it's a difficult one because Alan, of course, is our number one goalkeeper, but he was very thoughtful and could totally understand that we are playing John in the cup competition. So Alan will push John and will guide him as well and support him tomorrow.
Hi, Giovanni. Is it your understanding that this will be Conor Goldson's final game for the club, or has he intimated to you any intention of coming back for next season? And given what you've just said about John McLaughlin and Alan McGregor, do you believe that Alan has played his last game for the club, or is there an idea between the two of you to ensure that he comes back for next season too?
Well, with Alan, we agreed, and also with Ross Wilson, to speak after the season. And regarding Conor, we've the club has been in talks with him to extend his contract. So far, he didn't extend it, but the chance that he will be still a Rangers player tomorrow. think will be small, but as I said, and also I would love to have Connor in the team next year. But as you see quite a lot, when players get out of contract, there are two possibilities to keep playing for Rangers, or to move on and maybe to have another challenge. But I still have in my mind that he will be part of Rangers next year. If that's my feeling or the reality, we have to watch in the coming weeks. But I think Connor has been amazing for this team in all those years. He's a Rangers player, and if it will be his last game tomorrow, I don't know right now.
I just wanted to ask you about Liverpool. As you know, are fighting on all fronts, and they employ a system called Zone 7, which has reduced their injuries by a third this season. Do you have any computer programs or anything like that manage you through these congestion games?
Well, we use a lot of data. Of course, we can measure a lot of things in football right now. The load of players, the high distance runs. So we are also using software to see where we can help players, or we need to be careful. I think it's a direction where every club, every team is going. I think it's getting more important, especially with the load of games we had this season. We played one of the most games in Europe, and some of my players, they play the most minutes of all players in Europe as well. So I think it's very important, to help players as well with the use of data in your medical department. So yes, we also use data to help our players improve and make sure we're not overloading them with minutes they play.
Well, welcome back. That was a press conference from Giovanni there. What did you take out of that? First of all Bear.
I think he's upbeat himself with the Mora, but it's one of the ones. It's going to be difficult to get them going, and I think that's what he's trying to tell everybody. It's going to be really difficult. But an incident will happen in the game, and it will just trigger us. It's the usual. It'll just trigger us. The fact that he's talking about Golson, and the modern managers or the modern coaches have not got much to do with the transfer negotiations. You know what I mean? They're asking him questions that he's not really got an answer for. It's Ross Wilson who should be answering these type of questions, and I don't think he wants to go in front of a camera and start discussing their business like that. But hey, but I'm looking forward to tomorrow. To be honest with you guys, I'm looking forward to tomorrow to see the character of the team, which we know is brilliant because they've done it before. They've showed us. So I'm expecting tomorrow myself the same again. But the press conference itself it's difficult. It's the quality of question. What do you ask? You know what I mean? Going on about Zone 7 with Liverpool, what crap's that? What garbage are they actually talking these people? You know what I mean? Of course all these teams do all that. It's a closed circle. They all do the same things behind the scenes.
But I think in the last couple of years we've really stepped it up in the medical department up at Auchinaway, mate. I think we have brought in loads of really good equipment. We've got really good people in the background to look after the players. Things that were missing during the rough times when we were scrimping and scraping have all been brought back and upgraded. And I think it's all for the benefit of the players at present and especially in the future. Bully Boy, what did you take out the presser?
I'm the same as Albert on that one, Fox. I mean, the interviewer asked Gio questions about Golson. I mean, I could rant on all night about what I think about that, like, you know. But listen, I'm sure there'll be a bit of freshness in the morning. The way I was looking at it there, mate. There'll be a bit of freshness in the morning. In the starting 11, I think he'll make at least 3 changes in the morning for the final. I really do. For what started the game during the week there. But he spoke about Big Golson and his contract and all that. I mean, I'll try and keep it short as sweet as I possibly can. I mean, if he's no want to sign a contract, the bottom line is here, if you're no want to sign the contract, on you go, son. If you're not want to play with Rangers, you don't want to play with Rangers. Thanks very much for your services, but on you go, and that's the bottom line, eh? Because, I mean, if there's clubs coming up looking, as the boy touched on as well there, asked Gio the question about Bassey. I mean, if there's clubs up looking at that laddie, right, and Connor Golson's out of contract in the summer, they must see the difference in the two and they'll say, well, we're not wanting to sign you, pal. So I think it's a bit a double-edged sword, this one, with Connor Golson and his agent and Rangers, eh? The two of them have dug their heels in. And the club itself always wins in the end. So the big man, he maybe struggle. Well, I wouldn't say struggle, but I don't think he's going to get the type of football that he wants and the money he wants unless he goes down to the Championship in England, because he's certainly not good enough for a top 8, top 10 team in English Premiership. That's just my personal opinion, but I wish the big man all the best if he does decide to leave us, and we thank him for his services.
I was going to go into Connor Golson as a point after we spoke about the presser. We'll hear Bridges' points on the press conference and anything that caught his ear.
The press conference, I thought it was very interesting, to be honest. But I think that one where the guy could sort of compare what Liverpool's system, I don't know what the system was, system 72 or something like that.
Zone 7.
72. No, or was it Zone 7? Sorry, pal. I've never heard of it, so I can't comment on that. But I think overall our manager handled the questions very well. When it comes to Goldson, I doubt very much that our manager is going to start talking about someone's contract at a press conference unless it's all signed up. If it's not signed up, he's not going to say nothing, which he didn't. So as far as I'm concerned,
exactly.
However, Fox, if we're going to speak about Goldson later, I'll just finish off at that then, I'll no bother. We'll speak about Goldson after.
No, well, we can carry on now. He mentioned four players, particularly in his press conference. First was Borna Barisic, who's out injured. Well, we've seen that when he took off in the final there. So he's out for tomorrow. He spoke about Calvin Bassey. He spoke about Alex Lowry. And he also spoke about John McLaughlin. But we'll take Goldson first. For me, been a brilliant service for Rangers for the length of his contract. Not so many players before him who are running down their contract did he ever chuck it. And he's gave us every ounce in every game that he's played in for Rangers, in my opinion. What's your opinion, Albert?
He's not my favourite player. I mean, I've said it from day one, but he's done all right for us. He really has. I mean, I'm not going to slag the guy and say he's been rotten completely. He's got his moments, as I've pointed out before, but no, if he wants to go, he wants to go. I mean, I still think it was bad planning with Wilson. I don't think we should be happy he's leaving for nothing. I don't like that at all, but that's no Golson's fault. That's Wilson's fault. I definitely think we should be getting money for him because he's not a dud. I mean, he's worth money. He's worth at least £5-6 million. Let's tell us, and let's be honest about the guy. We can't keep letting £5-6 million walk out the door like that. That's just not right. That's not the model we're producing. He might get signed for Rangers. He might want to sign. Where he goes or what he does is going to tell you. If he goes down to the Premiership, he's been tapped up, isn't he? Let's be honest about it. If he goes into the Premiership, depending who he goes to, I suppose. But if he goes to the Championship, it's money. And if he signs for us, he's not getting what he wanted anywhere else, so he may as well stay here at a big club. So that's the three options I think he's got in front of him. And it's going to tell us everything where he goes, know what I mean, or what he does. But again, Fox, nobody's actually go to him go to Rangers what the problem is and why he's not signing. It might be family problems, it might be money, it might be length of contract, it might be anything. I don't know. Nobody knows. But
I think it is family reasons, mate. I think he's just completed a new house in England, and it must have been his plan over the last year to move back south. But I didn't want to really talk about his contract. We know about the contract situation. I was more or less asking, has Connor Goldson been a good signing for us, a reliable signer, an ever-present in the team? And for the money we paid, which I think it was about £3 million, did we get value for money, Bridgeman?
100%. To me, over the last 4 years, he's been by far the most consistent player that we've had. He's been a rock for both the managers, Steven Gerrard and now Gio. He's been a rock for us. And every fan, I'm dyed in the wool, as you know, much like everybody that's on here. But seriously, I think he's had a fantastic performances for us right through the runs in Europe. And I have to say, we probably wouldn't have got to there with Connor Goldson, because we've tried a number of centre-halves and it didn't work. And I think he's come up, done the business, took him a season to get sorted out, and then there's no looking back. And look at him now. I don't know whether MD said there, and I just didn't hear whether there's any talk about him going to a championship or a Premier League team. I doubt very much, and this is one of my opinion, if he would go there to a Premier League team, he might star in the Championship. I don't know. But these two leagues down there are really tough leagues, and they play at a certain pace of football. I don't know whether he could cope with that pace. But no offence to anyone. I think he's been fabulous for Rangers, and I hope he does sign a new contract for us, because we could do with him for the next 3 years.
Okay, before we take your view, Billy, I think we better get the phone lines open. So if anybody would like to phone in with some comments on the press conference or looking forward to the Scottish Cup final tomorrow, please listen to this.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Sorry, Billy, I had a wee bit of conflict there. Technical Fox was shouting in the ear. Presenter Fox here. Get the phone lines open. Get the phone lines open. Anyway, over to you, Billy.
Oh, brilliant. No, no bother, mate, no bother. No, listen, I'm not going to slate Connor Goldson right for 1 minute. What I'm going to be, there's a difference between coming out and having a pop at somebody and being constructive, right? Now, you know, he's been here for 3 or 4 seasons, right? And he has got all the stats, right? And I get all that. I see all that. And I'm no doubting these stats, because they're all correct. But what really gets me with the boy is, like, it's just basic errors, right? When it's as if his lack of concentration in games sometimes frustrates me. I mean, now, there was when we look back our season, right, we can look back now and say, well, that game could have went this way, blah, 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 right? And it's all hypothetical. I get that. But there's been 2 mistakes in games the big man's made, right? And one was against Motherwell at Ibrox. Now, Johnny Lundstrom gave the ball away to Bassey. Bassey's tried to get back into position. He's got caught short, and he's left big Goldson 1-on-1 with either gone to the full-back, the boy that's getting the ball into the box, or the boy that's thrown into the back post, right? So he's caught in a bit of a catch-22 situation. Now, the boy who put the ball across the goals for the goal against Motherwell put it between the byline and Connor Goldson, and in between Goldson and McGregor. Now, in my opinion, right, your centre-half must deal with that, right? He's got to just throw a leg at it, put his body across it, and put the ball out for a corner, right? He let the ball come right across him, and the boy's at the back post for a tap-in. Now, fast forward Wednesday night there, he done the exact same thing again. Yes, you could say Scott Wright and Camera, they were left exposed 1-on-1 when they're trying to go as quick as they could. Unfortunately, he couldn't get there. So when that ball comes out of the box, Bassey's read the danger, in my opinion, right? But Golson's there in front of him, so he's got to deal with that, right? So that's my gripe with the big man. And it's the exact same ball that was into the box against Motherwell. He never dealt with it, and it was the exact same ball that came into the box against Frankfurt during the week there, and he never dealt with it. That's my gripe with him. That's my gripe, because I'm going to mention, off the top of my head, the new guys, right? I'll mention 4 centre-halves or four defenders for Rangers, right? At all different standards, right? And I'll go way back to the 80s. Right? Greyersons, John Brown, Richard Goff, right? They're 3 different players at different standards as centre-halves, right? And every one of them had the basic ability to see danger like that, right? Because but they boys should be going to the stone, and that's what's cost us. And to be honest with you guys, it's no been. See if you get beat with a team, you beat with a wonder strike or a brilliant footballing move, you put your hands up and you'll say, well, fair play. But right through our season, it's been individual errors. It's cost us in big games, and that's where we fell short. And it's all down to concentration. And in my book, guys, But as I said, regarding the big man's stats, fair play to him. And if he's wanting to get back down England for family reasons, I'd like to wish a big man all the best. And his next move, his football career, and thanks for his services for Rangers.
Fair enough, Billy, but every one of the players for the past all made basic mistakes as well. I think overall his performances have been excellent for Rangers, but I'm just like that. I'm just a happy clapper, so we'll move on. The other player that you mentioned there was Alec Lowry. Does MD see him starting tomorrow?
I don't know
about that, guys. I dropped two there.
Sorry.
Right, Bridgeman, on you go.
No, I was going to say, I don't necessarily see him starting, although I've no fears if he does. But I think the manager's going to pick a different team. He's going to, if Ruth's fit and Ramsey's fit, I think they're going to play. That's what I think. And that will not leave there's no space for Lowry then. If I thought the opposite, I'd put Lowry in. Because Lowry's a smashing wee player. Brilliant wee player.
Albert, do you actually think the manager's handling the young boy right? We're just giving him bits and pieces of games at the moment and no throwing them in. Alec Lowry, sorry, I know you dropped out there for a second, but...
Aye, definitely. I'm going to tell you something, guys. See this, I'm now calling the class of 22. The class of 22 is your starting point for next season, and your class of 22, most of them should be on that bench tomorrow. The ones that were the 7 that started and come on against Hearts last week. That's the class of 72. That's your starting point now, guys. That's your model starting to work. That's the gear starting, man. All the young boys that come in there are all first team players in my eyes now. That's Lowry included, of course. And I would start Lowry tomorrow, definitely. 100% that boy should start tomorrow. In fact, do you want me to give you my team?
No, too early for that. Anyway, we've been joined by Peter for 5. Evening, Peter.
Evening, how you all doing?
And what's your points tonight, Peter? Is it on the press conference or something else?
No, about everything. The press conference, Gio gets asked these silly questions week in, week out. And obviously Connor Goldson's one of them that they keep asking him all the time. He's not giving an answer. He can't really answer it, so why do they keep asking him? No, it's just these silly questions every week. Connor Goldson's the one that always pops up. You know, I know they want an answer, but they can't answer it because it's not done to him. It's done, as somebody pointed, it's done to Ross Wilson, done to the board to try and sort it with him and his agent.
Most of the contributors for the press conferences are Rangers supporters, mate. You've got, I can't remember half of them that's on it, that do it, but it's questions the fans are asking them to ask, and that's what they do. I mean, it's different now. I mean, like Sir David Edgar, etc. They do ask poignant questions at the best of times, but a lot of them are repetitive. And as we're having nothing to do with the press, that's the sort of press conferences you're going to have to put up with, mate, you know?
No. Aye, but I wasn't... I mean, like your daily record, no, that's another day, but no, the whole team done us all proud getting us this far. Now let's hope they go and do it tomorrow. Alex Lowry, the future, as Will said, the future is looking far brighter than it has been. The amount of young boys that are coming through looking very good, and I'd like to see some of them start tomorrow, just like the rest of us, because I think they could contribute to the team.
Fair comment. Does anybody else not enjoy the press conferences as much? Billy, do you enjoy the press conferences as they are at present?
I actually do. I like listening to Gio because he talks. He's a good talker.
I think we're
he's
actually
starting
talking
to understand
about the questions being asked more than Gio
right.
as a manager, you know.
Right, mate. No. Some of the questions that they asked, buddy. Sorry, mate. I thought you were talking about Gio there. No, some of the questions that they asked the manager are bewildering, to say the least. You know what I mean? And then, they contradict themselves sometimes and all. I mean, he says, "Oh, I can't mind what the guy says. It was along the lines, I'm not going to ask you for your starting 11, but would he be in your thoughts anyway?" I mean, what kind of questions that? You know what I mean? So, it's some of them are crazy, to say the least. Fox, so they're mind blowing. But listen, if they can get a story out of anything to print a paper, that's what they'll do, mate. That's what they're all about, that mob, isn't it?
And in general, I think the boys that ask the question do as good a job as they can, mate. I think they do well. Bridgeman, you any thoughts on it?
I think sometimes it doesn't really matter who's asking the questions, and there was many questions there tonight. I think sometimes Rangers fans think there's suspicion in their thoughts. You know, who's that saying that, and why are they saying it? You know, is there somebody just saying that for badness, trying to trip them up? You know, that thing that we spoke about, Zone 7 or something like that. I don't know whether Gio has even heard of that, knows about it or whatever. But, you know, I think to come up with questions like that, to me, I don't think it's fruitful, because he never answered them. He never gave him an answer that he was looking for. So I think it was either a wee trick question somewhere along the line, or I just don't know.
I think the questions are more honest, coming from Rangers supporters than looking for fancy headlines that used to happen with the press, where they used to twist things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not getting the boys that are asking the questions, the Rangers supporters. What I'm talking about, a daft question is a daft question, no matter who it comes from. It could come from one of the supporters, or it could come from one of the press. But to ask them things like Golson's contract, they're not understanding how the club works. The contracts, this side of the business has got nothing to do with the modern coach. Nothing whatsoever to do with the modern coach. He doesn't get any negotiations with money and contracts. It's nothing to do with him. So why are you asking them? They should know that before asking and saying, well, it's pointless asking him. They should be asking for an appointment with Ross Wilson and ask him. But that's what I'm talking about. It's silly questions that you can't answer. Asking about Liverpool Zone 7, what's that going to do with anything? Of course Rangers are bang up to date now. Would you expect that? But I don't understand. Why were you asking that? What's Liverpool Zone 7 going to do with Rangers? It's nonsense. It's padding it out. I think there's too much press conferences now anyway, because it must be difficult to come up with original questions, because everyone that's been asked about football has been asked about football. So you're just going by game. So you just have a list of questions and ask the same questions for every game, because that's what you want to know. Is there any injuries? Any new to tell us? No. Right, end the press conference, let's all go for a pint. Because, see, there's endless drivel and thinking up stupid questions just to pad the interview out. It's nonsense, mate. And it's hard for Van Baron, because it's hard for all the managers. They just need to cut it down a bit and just say, look, I'm going to ask a pertinent question that he's got a chance of getting an answer for, because at the questions, he's no chance of getting a decent answer, because there isn't any decent answer. He can't answer it. He doesn't know. And you're making the guy look foolish by asking him it as well. That's another thing. Van Bronckhorst is sitting there. I bet in his mind he's going, oh, cheers for that question. I can answer that. Oh, hold on, I get into this drawer and I'll bring his contract out and go through it with you. He doesn't know anything about contracts. It's a shame. It really is.
Fair enough. I mean, Oxy's been getting away with it for 6 years on here. Come on.
That's true, mate. That's true.
Double time.
Ox, if you're listening. Right, Peter, any other comments that you had to make there?
It's just the same as what Billy said. I wasn't necessarily having a go at him. It's just, I mean, yeah, you've got to answer. You've got to ask him questions. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of a press conference. But he speaks well. He gets his point across good as well. I mean, I don't really like it. I mean, that's him gave it McLaughlin's playing as well, so in a way you don't really want him to come out. Yeah, Gio's honest as well, no, but sometimes you want to keep your opposition guessing. That's the whole thing, like we were saying, like who's basically starting in goals and more, but that's the way it is now, isn't it?
Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that now. The position of goalkeeper tomorrow. John McLaughlin has been stated as being the goalkeeper. If things go well, and with the contract situation with Alec McGregor, if we were up 2-0 with 5 minutes to go, would you bring him on, Peter, so he can say a farewell to the Rangers fans rather than just end of season and gone, maybe?
Well, to me, if it's McGregor and Davis' last game, they do deserve to get to say a song in front of our loyal fans. You know, they've been great servants to the club. I mean, we wouldn't have done. Look at Davis on Wednesday, came on, made a difference again. So I'd like to think Davis could get another contract. McGregor, you just don't know if he could maybe do another season, but they deserve a goodbye, shall we say, the last game, if it is the last game for the club, because they deserve it. Great servants to our club, and let's be honest, they're true men, true Rangers men through and through.
I agree with you there. I know we can have no sentiment tomorrow. We've got to get the game won and win a trophy for this season rather than giving cameos to people when we've no won it. So once we get the game won, I agree. I think that people that are leaving should get their chance to say goodbye to the Rangers support. What do you think, Billy?
I am the same, mate. You win the game. You win the game first, and do everything what's needed to be done second, mate. That's the way I see it, mate. I mean, the guys that's going to be leaving, they're maybe just come to the end of their career now, or they're going to be moving on with contracts, blah 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 blah. There's no time for sentimental values now, mate. This is an R Cup final we're in. It's the top cup final in Scotland, and we want to win it. And listen, Hearts will be up for this the morning, because they'll be smelling blood the morning. You believe you and me, they'll smell blood. But we need to match them tomorrow. So I want 11 hungry Rangers players out there the morning, scrapping and screaming blood, sweat and snotters for the jersey the morning. That's what I want.
Fair enough.
Can I come in?
Aye, you come in and then we'll bring Blue Star in, who's joined us as well.
It's just to say that, following on there, that Hearts are going to be no pushovers tomorrow, because I see they've got Big Suter and Halkett back in. It looks like anyway those two are going to start. So that's their mainstream, shall we say, centre back pairing. And I don't know how Big Suter's going to play right enough, but Halkett could play a bit. He's not a bad player. Both Suter's going to come to us, and Halkett was with us. So Rangers up against some tough people up there, and let's hope they don't forget what they did a week ago when we beat them. So they get into it. Go for it, Rangers.
Thank you. Blue Star, good evening.
Evening, Fox. Evening, rest of the panel. Fox, it was on your points here on the presser and Goldson. The presser, I agree with most of the guys. If you look at the present game, the present day, the way the journalists ask questions, there's always innuendos, hidden agendas with some of them. But as you said, I think the mass majority of them are kind of Rangers fans now. I think Rangers media department kind of go on top of that most of the time. What I would say is, if you go back, if you think of Walter Smith, and indeed even more so the likes of Big Jock, whenever they used to ask him stupid questions, if they asked him anything about the other side, what was his response? His response was simple: I'm not here to talk about them, I'm only here to talk about Rangers. And that was it. Cut and dried, straight to the point. So they're no long in learning. Even Gerrard, who was the best speaker I've ever heard as a Rangers manager, without a question here, I doubt, he wasn't long in learning. Whenever they were asking him daft questions, he would give them a kind of flippant answer. And Gio will be exactly the same. On that, folks, no the thing, I was listening to that other channel earlier on, Clyde, and Kenny Muller was on it. And he kind of taken that back a wee bit. He gave his team for the Mora, and he mentioned Ramsey and Ruth. Now, I said to you last night, folk, I honestly thought if Ruth was fit, I think there was no doubt he would have played the Mora, simply because he's a striker. But on that, if they two guys were fit, and I go back to Wednesday night, if they two guys were fit and they did indeed start the Mora, and because of Miller saying that, they asked him if he'd spoken to any of the players, and he says he'd spoke to most of them. In other words, he spoke to Ramsey as well. He's under the impression that he gave his team, and he says the two of them will definitely start. On that, folks, I'm asking you and I'm asking the rest of the panel, if they two guys were as fit to start that game tomorrow, why on earth would Gio, our manager, only have brought them on with a minute to go? Yes, we get the impression that it was so that they could take a penalty, but Miller took me aback a bit. And I like listening to the wee guy, some of it because, folks, we all know he's Rangers through and through. The whole night, he wasn't even like an Andy Halliday. It was wee. He turned around and he told them straight, especially to Stevens, and he says, listen, I'm telling you, he says, if that had happened to me, he says, there's no way, he says, I would have took a penalty. He says, even if I had been 100% confident, he says, with a minute to go, he says, and Ramsey hadn't touched the ball, he says, I certainly wouldn't have took the penalty. That got to me, folks, because it did cost us. Yes, we look at the whole game and we had chances, blah, blah, Kent, etc. But when you think about that, if our manager thought, especially for me, Ruth, no even Ramsey, that he was definitely fit enough, even to start the Mora, surely to goodness in extra time when we were on tap, now even if you hadn't started them at the start of extra time, folks, do you not honestly think at the start of the second half, the last 15 minutes, you would have brought our striker on?
To be honest, obviously the manager had his own reasons for not bringing them on earlier. And who am I to doubt with? Because he's done a great job, Gio. It's for us as fans, mate, we always disagree if something doesn't work out. Now, Ramsey could have been the hero as well as the villain on Wednesday night. He could have scored a penalty that won us the game, or he could have missed one that cost us the game. And it could easily have been Tav, it could have been any of the rest of the ones, Stephen Davis or Scotty Arfield. Any of them could have missed that penalty, mate. But to turn it into a witch hunt on Ramsey or the manager for not bringing him on earlier on, the game's done now. We need to make the best of it and move on to the final tomorrow. If he starts tomorrow, Aaron Ramsey, I hope he has a good game, and if that's to be his swan song for Rangers, fair enough. But all I'm interested in tomorrow is put a team out to win this game. And we can talk and argue about what went wrong and whatever later on.
Folks, absolutely. I'm agreeing with you. The point I was trying to make is, as you heard last night, that we had well-known thingies on our show last night, and you heard the response that to quite a few of the guys saying exactly that if Ramsey shouldn't even be on the bench tomorrow. The exact conversation was they didn't want him near our club, never mind on the bench tomorrow, that he wasn't even entitled to get a medal. So it's not me saying that. That's the opinion of quite a few fans, and I get that.
I know that, mate, but as I said, it could have been MD that missed that penalty. It doesn't matter,
absolutely,
mate. It's gone and done.
Can we move on, folks?
Aye.
Folks,
on you go, Bridgeman.
Folks, I get that. What I'm saying is, see Alexa Lowry. For me, when there's players that
oh, Rich, hold on, right?
Yes, I'm just saying when the likes of Lowry tomorrow, surely Lowry. I'm moving on. I'm saying see the likes of Lowry, who's a young fat boy. Surely he would be worth a start tomorrow.
Well, I would think so. I'd like to see the young boy playing, but there is players in front of Alex Lowry than now. I'd rather see Joe Aribo myself personally, but I'll let people go on and see what they say. Albert, what do you think? Lowry start tomorrow?
I would like to see him starting tomorrow, mate. I think he's done enough to warrant a start. He's done more than Ramsey and he's done more than Roof, put it that way, to start. But they're better players at the moment than the boy. Of course they are on their game, that is. But they're not in. Ramsey's not been on his game. But I would like to see the boy starting. I don't think it's fair to start a Rebo. I mean, that would be 66 games or 67 games the guy's played. He's playing out of position, so I've nothing against the Rebo. I like Big Joe.
He may not be out of position tomorrow. He may be moved to his right position on the right-hand side at the moment, you know.
I think it's just legs, mate. I think with that heat and the amount of games he's played all season, I think it'll just be legs with Big Joe. And I think it'll be legs with Maestrom tomorrow, because that was something. That was unbelievable on Wednesday night. That was beyond the call. That one. That was. There's some of them were just. I mean, Big Lundstrom was dying on. He's just dead, absolutely dead. So that takes a bit of doing to come back for that. No, I mean, in a short space of time. So, from that point of view, I don't think Van Bronckhorst has any choice, mate. I think he's going to change. Billy was saying he thinks it'll be 3. Well, he's already told you two right away. So I think there's going to be more than 2, 3 tomorrow. I think there might be 4 or 5 changes tomorrow. Just because of what went on Wednesday night with the heat and that. Because I don't have any choice. I really don't. Because they're going to go for us. They're definitely going to go for us on Saturday.
Peter, do you think there'll be a lot of changes tomorrow?
I think there'll be a few. We want to freshen the team up as well, because 120 minutes, let's be honest, it's bad enough for the fans, never mind the players, you know. Yeah, the players could get water on them like our fans, but something heat and everything. I know I hate making it sound as if it's an excuse, but it was the same for both teams, but especially when we got a cup final at the weekend. It says a lot, and don't get me wrong, the players have come back from games. The Leipzig went on, beat Celtic in the semi-final. We looked to fresh our team, but this was a harder one on Wednesday, and of course, obviously didn't go away. So I think they will. I think Gio's hands are kind of tied. He's going to have to make changes. I'd like to see Leon King come in and Lowry.
Oh, that's interesting. Leon King instead of Balogun. What do you think of that, Bridgeman, the centre-half king himself? Bridge? Oh. That blue star's going.
I've got it. Sorry. There's bloody mute button down my head in. Anyway, Leon King, yeah. Leon King, good. Aye. I wouldn't have a problem with him, getting no problem.
In front of Balogun?
No.
I'd like to see Balogun and King.
Yeah, I was going to say that there. Could play those two together. Is there a problem with the goals? And that's the question.
No, that I know.
Right, okay. So we're going to have we could bring in the boy King and Bassett could move to the left back position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or you could play Balogun and King for some part of the game as well. Good mixture there, you know. I'd like to see the boy King getting more games if it's at all possible, and I'd like to see Bassett out in the left back for definite tomorrow. For definite. My goodness gracious, he's been noticed in the European area. That boy Bassett. What a tremendous performance by him. I don't think it's going to be long before someone's jumping at the door asking for him. You know. So we'll see how it goes with that. But yeah, I'd like to see the boy King. He's no foot wrong since he came back into the scene again, and he's been excellent for us. Excellent.
I don't know if I imagined it or no, but is he following in the same footsteps as Bassey, centre half, and he went to left back, if I think, in one of the games a wee while back, didn't he?
He did indeed. Well, I don't know if it's following his footsteps, but a nice player, tidy player. A nice bit of pace on him. I like him. I think there's a lot of guys like him, to be honest.
Again, a young player, and we've heard the stories that Derek Johnson came in when he's 16 and everything else. But some players have got to be gradually introduced into the team, and I think that's what Gio's doing with them. Not throwing them in and letting them fight. Just gradually bring them in, learn off of the stars that's there. And I think that's the way they're doing it. Anyway, I think it's about, if Terry's ready, about time for a wee tune. So if you don't mind going on mute, guys, have a tune for Terry. Wake up, Terry. I think Terry's dropped off the planet. I better find a tune myself.
Make it a good one, Foxy. Make it a good one.
I'll make it a good one.
The world's listening to you.
Oh, every other Saturday, my half day up, and it's up to the match I go. Happily we wander down the Copeland Road, me and my wee pal Joe. Oh, we love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all. We love to see the Rangers score. Whoa, me, oh, me, oh, me, oh, my. Oh, how we love to hear the cry. We love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all. We love to see the Rangers score. Oh, we won the Scottish League about 1,000 times. The League Cup is simple too. We gave some exhibitions in the Scottish Cup. We gave a Wembley Wizard too. And when the Glasgow Rangers win the European Cup, when I won they had before, we'll rally round an Ibrox 100,000 strong. We'll give the boys an Ibrox roar. Whoa, me, oh, me, oh, me, oh, my. Oh, how we love to hear the cry. We love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all. We love to see the Rangers score. Oh, how we love to hear the cry. We love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all. We love to see the Rangers score. Whoa, me, oh, me, oh, me, oh, my. Oh, how we love to hear the cry. We love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all. We love to see the Rangers score.
Well, thanks very much for that, Terry. I'm glad you eventually wound up the record player and got it going, so we're all back then. Well, who's anybody else got any questions before we move on? Anybody got a point they'd like to raise? I'll take that as a no then. Right, what do we think of our opposition tomorrow, guys? It's not a thing we normally speak about, but Hearts have had a pretty decent season this season since coming up for the championship. Can they provide a threat to us tomorrow? Does anybody think they can?
Fox, can I come in there?
Aye, sure.
I think obviously they can cause us problems, but the very fact, and I know it's a different game. If you take the team that our manager put out last week, which was mostly with the young boys, for obvious reasons, they played basically maybe bar 2 or 3. They played their top kind of 11. So we beat them handsomely. Surely to goodness, we don't have an option anymore. And no matter who our manager puts on as our 11, it's a must win. We have to win silverware. we have to come back with that cup tomorrow. So can they cause us problems? Any team on the day can cause you problems. Of course they can. They've done well in the championship insofar as they've beat better teams through this year and to finish third. So they've came up for the championship, and for them to do that, that's a big plus in their cap. So yes, they could cause us problems. They will cause us problems tomorrow, no doubt. But we should be more than good enough, no matter what 11 we put on the park, to take care of them.
I mean, apart from Craig Gordon, he got the Scottish Player of the Year, didn't he, with a goalkeeper? Has Barry Mackay had a good season, and would MD take him back as a squad player? Question, Bridgeman, if you're back. Not sure whether Bridgeman's back or not. So we'll go to Billy Boy. Barry Mackay, what do you think of him?
He's a tidy wee football player, mate. I liked him the first time he was round when he was coming up through the ranks at the Rangers, mate. Then obviously moved on. I think went down to Nottingham Forest. Had a wee spell in England, and he's obviously come back up the road. If I'm 100% honest with you, mate, I didn't think the boy would be good enough now for a squad player at Rangers now. When the likes of you've got Ryan Kent, you've got young Lowry there, you've got what's the other fella's name? Hadges when he comes back for injury. You've got Wright that's come on to kick up, starting to kick a ball now. So I didn't think the laddie would even he wouldn't feature much, mate. To be honest, I think the lad he's found his level at Hearts. And listen, as I said, that he's a cracking wee player, so he is. But I think he's had his time at the Rangers, Fox, and no for me, mate, buddy. Sorry, no for me, mate.
Fair enough. It was just a wee mad question. I think he's matured a lot since he's been away for Rangers. I think he's very creative and still holds that powerful shot that he had when he was at Rangers. I just think that Rangers will need to keep an eye on him tomorrow. I think he's playing very well this season, along with a couple of their midfield players. They've got a boy in loan. I'm trying to remember his name. Ben something.
Over.
What's his name?
Beningama. What Foxy? Beningama.
No, I can't remember the boy. Right, just forget about it. The boy Haring's a decent enough player.
Good shot as well. Good shot.
The big boy Ellis Sims a bit of a handful as well. He can take a wee chance when he gets it. We'll need to mark him kind of closely. I mean, they started off the season. They used to play a 3-5-2, and they were quite strong at the back with Craig Halkett and Big Suter and whoever else played there. But they've changed their system since both Halkett and Suter have been out injured, and have more or less been playing a 4-2-3-1 like us. But does anybody think that they had a chance tomorrow?
I think we have to, forgive me for butting in here, I think we've got to be very careful, because I think those two at centre back area are a very, very good pairing. And if they hit a wee bit form at all, we need to be able to get through there. And if they hit form, we might not get through. And that's what we've got to watch it. We've got to get through those two and get the ball in the net as quickly as possible. Not let them settle too much.
Yeah, they've got a real chance tomorrow. Let's not kid ourselves, and they have got a chance. And that wee rat, it plays in the midfield, that wee Devlin trumpet. He'll be running about kicking everything that moves, as usual, and getting away with it, as usual. So they're definitely going to be dangerous. You've got to remember, I'm big Suter will be playing as well. And I'm hoping, I'm not hoping, that trumpet Nielsen will be, he's hoping Big Suter is a stormer, and he scores a goal against us. That's what he's hoping for. That's fate, and he's got the headlines wrote in his head already, that clown. But as far as I'm concerned, Barry Mackay, I don't care. He had a good season, and I definitely don't want him back at Rangers. He played for Rangers. My nephew is a teacher up at the school where he was there, and he kept saying he was a Celtic supporter. I don't want him anywhere near the club. He's a wee rat. Get him to whatever.
Don't take it to heart, mate. I was only doing it for something to talk about. Come on.
Now you've got a battle fever on me, mate. I'm going to put my name forward for Van Bronckhorst to pick me tomorrow now.
The other one, the boy I was trying to remember was the wee Welsh boy, Ben Woodburn. I think he's up on loan. I think he's a decent young player. The boy Janelli's got a bit of pace. And
Kingsley. Oh, he's another one, folks.
Aye. Does he not play at the back? No, midfield, is it? Midfield, aye. The boy Beninghammer, or whatever you call him, had a good start to the season, but I think he's faded out. I don't even know if he's still playing or he's injured at the moment. A wee bit of threat in both wings with Mackay and Mackay Stevens have got a bit of pace, a bit of trickery about them. But we should be good enough. Just a wee look back, a wee look at the opposition. I think we never do in this show, so I'll move on for that. Anybody else got a point? Well, no, what I'll do at the moment, I'm going to ask for callers.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I think we'll be joined by Andy for Leeds in a moment. So, anybody else get any more points they would like to bring up before we move on?
I was just going to say, it's all down to our application and attitude tomorrow. Hearts can trouble us, but if we let them trouble us, it's up to Rangers to go and lay a marker down in the first kick of the ball. The blood and thunder. That's what's got us through big games this year. We need to turn up with the right attitude tomorrow, because if not, it's going to be a very long day.
Who's the ref tomorrow?
Willie Collum, mate.
Aye.
Oh, Christ.
A good Rangers man, as you know.
Brother Collum as a column, you know.
I'm half expecting Hearts to turn out with green and white hoops tomorrow, mate.
Great twinkle in his eyes.
See if they can get a wee bit off of Willie, you know. Anyway, we've been joined by Andy for Leeds. Evening, Andy.
Good evening, chaps. My take on tomorrow, I think Gio's got a big part to play in this. He's got to look in to get some of these guys' eyes, whether they want it, whether they think some of them are knackered after the heat that they played in. He has to look at the players that he thinks he can get them through. He needs to freshen it up if he don't think they're good enough. There's 2 or 3 boys that he could come in there. He could bring Davis in. He only come on late. If Ruth is fit, he's there. There's Lowry. There's King. There's plenty there. They must win this cup. And if they don't go on and win this cup tomorrow and they can get what's happened there behind us, right, that'll tell you a lot about some of their players, because most of them, or half of them, are going. Do they want to go out as a winner? Or do they want to feel sorry for themselves? We must win this trophy. That's how I take that tomorrow.
Exactly.
Fair comment, Andy. Any players in particular you were having a wee dig at there?
Fox, are you leading me on there?
Of course, I'm. That's what I'm here for, Paul.
Well, you know what I think about a certain guy, right? And if I was disappointed in Tavernier, to be honest with you, somebody needs to learn him on, and that's the only thing I'm going to say about him, because he's come on really well. But somebody needs to learn him how to read the flight of a ball. He just does not know how to read a ball. It just goes over the top of him. So that's all I'll say on that one. On the other one, well, he's not wanting to send the contract all season. So
sorry, who was that? Who was that you were having a go at?
Tavernier.
Right, that's enough, Andy. We'll see you next season, mate.
Yes, Fox. You know me, I'll tell you to see it. No, I was just meaning he can't read the flight of the ball sometimes, and that. But that was a poor game.
I think he's no bad at it, mate. He gets up for goals and 40-yard balls to the wide, and he does them on, mate.
Yeah, he does. I'll give you that. But there again, when the ball comes across him in defence, he jumps under it a lot of times as well.
Look, I'm in charge.
Forget that.
There'll be no...
Well, you asked me, didn't you? I just want to say about Andy. I want him to go out there. He needs to pick the right players. As a manager, he needs to realise that. And if he don't think that they're fit enough, or they don't have the right look in the eye, he's got players that can come on and do the job there, right? Not
take no notice of what happened last week. That don't make the difference. This mob will kick everything that moves. They'll see an opportunity, 120 minutes, mentally in the heat. They'll work on that as well. You know, they'll be looking like, let's get the first goal, then you really put them under. So we have to go out with the right attitude, set about them, get this quick goal I always talk about, and then follow it with a second. I think if we do that, then the confidence will come up. Look, I'm not kidding myself. They're down. Anybody after Wednesday, we as fans, the whole family, we're all doing. But we've got a chance just to get a trophy here, and then, you know, the new squad comes in next season, we start to build. Let's just start winning some trophies and getting that winning feeling. Well, we don't want to be going up there after knocking them out and not coming back with a cup again. We must come back with this cup tomorrow. That's what it's all about. Europe's gone now. It's been great. Thanks for the memories. But I don't want great eyes like we had, you know, in the semi-finals where we're rocking the stands. I want to see us winning something at the end of it. That's the way I was brought up following Rangers. No divine right to win trophy after trophy. But geez, we need to start winning some. That's the last year.
Fox, can I ask a question? Who would you go for them? Who would you go for in the right, Fox? Because I think it's a definite. We know he's starting with McLaughlin because he tells us that. Definitely Barisic isn't going to play, so that'll be Bassey there, and it'll be probably Balogun next to Goldson in the centre. But I think there's absolutely no doubt about it. There's no way Aribo will be starting again. Whether he keeps him on the bench or no is another matter, but he'll definitely no start with Aribo. The guy's played too many minutes and he ran his cell into the ground with playing up front. So who would you play in the right? Would you go for Arfield? Would you go for Sakala or even Scott Wright?
I think Arfield will play tomorrow. I think he'll play up front in the right or at right mid-half because Ryan Jack, I don't think he'll make it. He said that most of all the other players are fit, but Ryan had to come off again, so I just got a feeling that he'll no start, but Scotty Arfield maybe take his position. Does anybody think Steve Davis will start tomorrow?
Yep, I'd like him to.
I think so too. Yeah.
Who would you put him in place of Andy?
Jack.
And Jack, okay, so you've had him in the right.
Yeah,
right
he's done nothing. He's done nothing for the last 3 or 4 years. He's playing with an injury, Jack. He's still got problems there. Davis for me, I think he could control that midfield.
Bridgeman, you were coming in there.
No, I agree with the boys there. They're saying I wouldn't play Jack for the start. I think he needs a bit more rest than anyone else. I would let Davis get in there and do the business for us. And I think there's time. We've got time. It's a big pitch, and they would need someone like Davis to spread it about just a wee bit from the back. Yeah. That's what I'd like to see.
We know our midfield selection tomorrow, so it'll be a 3. So I'll go to you first, Billy. You're 3 for the midfield tomorrow.
Lundstrom, Davis and Aribo.
You're bringing Aribo in then, aye? Okay.
Yeah.
Any reason for that? Is that a good mix for you?
Sorry, Fox, what was that, mate?
Is that a good mix of 3 players in the middle? You'd have two sitting and one a wee bit further forward, who would be Joe Aribo, I take it?
That's right, mate. Exactly right. You're bang on, buddy. Davis is a football player. Lundstrom's a holding player. And Aribo is always capable of opening the door, so that's my 3 for the midfield. Okay,
we'll go to Albert. You're 3 for the midfield, Albert.
Lundstrom, Davis, Ramsey.
Oh, you're going to be getting it. Ramsey, you're... On you go, mate. What's your reasons for picking Ramsey then?
Because he's not kicked the ball yet. He's basically not kicked. Well, he did kick a ball. He didn't put it in the net. Apart from that, he's not kicked the ball. He's played last Saturday, and then he did the week off. So I think he'll play tomorrow. I also think he'll play Roof tomorrow as well. My forward line's Sakala, Roof and Lowry. Cal wouldn't play Kent tomorrow either.
We'll come to that in a minute. There's a mid-3. The mid-3 we're looking at the moment. Blue Star, you're 3 in the middle.
Davis, Lundstrom and Ramsey. Fox, I don't think Aribo's got an earthlier playing tomorrow. I really don't. And I think I'll say it again, after listening to Miller, he's obviously spoke to him all, and he said the guy was dead on his feet. I don't think he's got an earthlier. As I say, I think he'll be on the bench, but for what they were saying, he was absolutely dead on his feet. There's no way he could start tomorrow. Would I start with Ramsey? Only if I thought he was 100% fit, and that's debatable. If he wasn't fit, then I would have no qualms about starting the wee boy Lowry or a Scott Wright, even Sakala. We've got plenty of options, but I definitely don't think Aribo's got any chance of starting. I really don't.
Oh, that's 2 picks for Ramsey, which has surprised me. Peter, for 5?
I'll go with Davis, Lundstrom. Another one, probably. Well, Aribo, I don't think he could play. I'd bring in Lowry. He's got a vision. He could open them up tomorrow. He's already scored. I know another game doesn't count, but now he scored against them last week with flying with confidence and a great experience from him. Experienced that on Wednesday as well, and then put him in a cup final the week tomorrow.
I don't think he'll start after the manager saying in the press conference that he would get a bit of the game. So I take it he's no starting. So quite a lot of people would like to see Alec Lowry start, and I think he's provided a wee bit of spark in the front going forward. He's got good vision and he can hit a good pass, so maybe see him after 60 minutes tomorrow. Anybody else have no asked for the 3? No? Is that everybody?
I've got I was going to play Lundstrom, Davis, and same as the boy said, what do you call him, Aaron Ramsey. I would definitely play him.
So nobody's picked Glenn Kamara, so we don't think he'll start?
I was going to go for him. Davis, Lumsden and Kamara. I'm a bit worried about Big John right enough because the hurt in his eyes, he went up right in my estimation. As I said to you before, I knew he'd come good right enough. He gets it as well.
He's a shocker, isn't he?
We've got a light in the mood, haven't we? You know, but
you thought he'd come good, Andy. You thought he'd come good because you look at the game through the boat with a vodka bottle. That's how everybody's going to come good.
I think the other games I've been watching.
Can you all speak at once, mate?
Well, boys.
Slipeen doing the British Legion here, or our old folks' home. We seem to think that the defence picks itself with McLaughlin and goal, Tav, Goldson, probably Balogun for me and Bassey, but I don't see young Leon King starting tomorrow either. I think Gio wants to win a trophy, and I think he'll go with his strongest side. I don't see any surprises, and the only bit we've got to look forward to is the front 3. So, front 3, all bear, and your reasons for it.
Sakala, Roof, Lowry. Roof because he's a natural centre forward, and if he's fit, he should be playing. Lowry because he'll open the door. And Sakala, I think, deserves a chance for what happened to him on Wednesday. I think that was out of order on Wednesday.
Enough. Peter, for 5, your front 3, and your reasons for it.
Roof, Sakala, and Arfield, but I'd like to see Sakala come off the left because Sakala's proven he comes off the left. He's a menace and he can hurt teams like Motherwell. Won the penalty and made Scott Wright his goal. But Arfield, just for his bit of dig and he can come back. That's the reason why I'd like Arfield in the team, and I think it could maybe cause him a wee bit of bother as well.
Billy Boy?
A natural finisher.
Billy Boy?
I'll go with Kent, Roof and Lowry. Lowry because he's just because what he offers, he's a cracking wee player. He's brave on the ball. He's got pace. You know what I mean? He loves to run at players, and he's got it in his locker to take a couple of players out. With one wee drop of the shoulder. Roof, same as Albert, just because he's a goal scorer. and I would still stick with Ryan Kent, because just what Kent offers you. You know what I mean? Kent's either on it or he's no. He's one of the type wingers, and I mean, he's just the same as any other winger. You're on it, you're off it, you're on it, you're off it. But I would play Ryan Kent more than just for that, because I think he could be the one. I kind of had a hard game during the week, not lads, but I would definitely play Ryan Kent as well, the more.
I'm so surprised people are stating Lowry when the manager says they'd play a bit part in it. Come on, guys, think. It's a choice of three players, and half of you got it wrong. Come on. By the way, there must be more intelligent people out there, and if you'd like to phone in, the number is 0141 356 1972. Well, you aren't listening to the man. We played the
panel. Oh my God.
We play the press conference. We play the press conference.
It's a curveball he's throwing. He's not going to tell you Lowry's playing.
It's a shocker.
Oh, come on.
Can I pick my first
10 minutes here. 10 minutes here, press conference, and then he's listening to what the man says.
Can I give him a...
Fox, for me, it'll be Kent, Ruth, Sakala. He'll play with Kent if he thinks he's fit and he's what Beer is signing. Without a doubt, I don't see him dropping Kent. He'll play with Ruth simply because he's the only striker we've got, somebody through the middle. And we, Sakala, will run all day. And if you're playing with two guys that can basically run, the one I'm shocked about there is that if you're going to play Lowry, he would be playing in midfield. You can't play him outside right. He hasn't got the speed for that. So definitely Sakala and Kent in both wings. If they two are playing with Ruth in the middle, you're going to get plenty of pace and goals. No doubt about it. That's who his three will be. No doubt, no doubts.
If you were listening to the interview and all, Fox, would be playing, because that's all he ever says is
Unbelievable.
Thank God tomorrow's the last game of the season, because if he starts Lowry, I'll need to crawl down the hole somewhere.
Can I give you my top three? Can I give you
Aye, go on.
I would go for Arfield, Ruth and Kent.
Aye, well, I think you're about the nearest so far, mate. Well, that's only my opinion there. Is it important tomorrow that our midfield gets up to give our strikers a hand? Is that an important point tomorrow? We need to get midfielders into the box, and that's where the heat that done us on Wednesday night will not come into play in Glasgow tomorrow, that's for sure.
Aye, Fox, and we want to see whoever he plays in midfield. Let's be truthful here. We want to see a few of them having a dig for outside that box and not trying to walk the ball in, because we've been very guilty of that all season. We've got players there that are capable of shooting and scoring, so we want to see that, whether it's Lindstrom or whoever else he plays, Ramsey, whoever he plays in midfield. They've got to get up and support. Of course they do.
Does anybody else agree with that?
Absolutely, mate. But the trouble is, we've not got midfielder that becomes... The only one that's natural for is Ramsey. He's the only natural one that looks right in that position, breaking through. Maybe Arfield again, but Arfield balloons too many shots for my liking. But Arfield can break the lines. I like Arfield for that. He can get by the forwards. And Ramsey as well. But Davis and Lundstrom will know. They'll know do that.
Albert, can I ask the MC... with all his skills and all the rest of it, to tell us what the team has been picked based on what we've said.
Based on what you have said?
No,
kidding me on?
What's going to be the team?
It's 22 players you'll need to name.
What I would say it'd be McLaughlin, Tav, Goldson,
Balogun.
Bassey. I think it'll be Lundstrom, Davis and Scott Arfield, and I think up front it'll be Kent, Ruth and Sakala.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
That sounds about right.
I don't like it, but I'll agree with you. That's it done.
Brad, you'd have a team of centre halves. I mean, behave yourself.
If I could, they're the finest breed of footballers in the world, without a doubt.
Who's that?
Oh, hold on. I put a call out for somebody sensible. We've got Juicy on. Good evening, Juicy.
Oh, brilliant.
I'm here.
Do we get a vote on this?
On you go,
Good
Juicy.
evening, Albert. How is everyone?
Fine, mate. What's your point, Juicy?
Well, I think in terms of the team for tomorrow, it's a match we have to win. He'll play the strongest 11 that's available to him, and it's as simple as that. In terms of the youngsters who we all want to see do well, we all want to see King and Lowry, hopefully get some game time if the match goes well. These kids are going to get plenty of game time next season. Hopefully they're players that are going to end up saving us as a club an awful lot of money, because we're not going to have to go out and sign players of that ilk because we've already got them. They'll get the game time next season for sure. Tomorrow's a game we've just got to win. Play the strongest team you can. I think it's only Barisic that isn't available to him. Players who might be on a downer, like a Lundstrom, I'm sure he's going to be up for it come game time. He'll want to do the business. You've just got to go and smash it tomorrow. Take home the trophy, rebuild for the summer.
See, when you put a call out to the Samaritans, they always come through. Thank you, Juicy, for some sense.
Juicy, on that, what would your team be for tomorrow?
Well, I think pretty much really whatever is the strongest team available to him, I think the only thing that is up for a level of debate is, as Fox said, regarding how you configure the forward line. But if Kent is available and he's fit, I'd probably still start Kent. Rebo, if Rebo's fit, I'd start Rebo in the false nine. You're not going to get 90 minutes out of everyone. I fully appreciate that. So, as you guys said, Fashion, he could be deployed up front or on the left, possibly. We know that's where he's better. In terms of the defence, Barisic being out, I think it takes care of itself. It's going to be Balogun and Bassi.
So you're saying, Juicy, that you would start with Aribo up front?
Well, if we're going by, I thought you were
the sensible caller coming on.
if we're going with what the manager said, my friend, and he said that the only one who's really out is Barisic, he's likely to go. The only question that I would have is, what is the level of fitness of Kamar Roof? Kamar Roof is deemed as good enough for an hour tomorrow. You may well start him, and Aribo will be the sub. But we've all got a few question marks in our head, haven't we, about the status of Ramsey and Kamar Roof in terms of how many minutes he'll get out of them. They're certainly not going to play 90, so some of these guys will either start or they'll come on later. But he didn't say that anyone else was out, so I can't imagine he'll not play Aribo in either the false nine or in a midfield position. So it's all because of that Roof situation. I don't know how long Roof will be good for. But if he's fit, I would rather Roof starts. You're absolutely right.
Right, hold on just now. I've been joined with Denver Bear for Colorado. Evening, Denver.
Good afternoon, guys. How are we all today?
Evening, Denver.
I'm having a hard time at the night, Denver. I don't mind admitting it.
Good to hear your dulcet tones again, Foxy boy. I'm back on the radio, man. I'll tell you. And I'm glad to hear she's one of the old fogies calling in from Colorado, and Billy as the caretaker. So you might keep the head out this way, Billy. Give me some care as well, my friend.
Denver, I didn't get paid enough, mate, to look after these three young men.
Aye, but you'll get paid plenty if you move to Colorado, Billy, so you'll be fine.
No bother, mate.
He keeps stealing my morphine, Denver.
You're always welcome out here, boys. Anytime you're back, I know you don't pass through too often through Denver, Colorado, but anytime you're here, just chat the door and you'll have a place to live.
Wait a minute, Denver. Wait a minute, Denver. Billy, I've peed myself in it. I need changed.
I'm on my tea break.
Anyway, Denver, what's your point, pal, for calling? Never mind all these lunatics.
Right. So normal back four. Flanagan and Mackey. Midfield, Davis, Lundstrom and Kamara. Up front, Kent, Roof and Sakala. That's the guy I think we need to keep an eye on tomorrow is that wee Australian character who spends most of his time running about kicking players. Is it Devine his name is? He's a nutter, he's a fan man.
Devlin.
Devlin is it?
Devlin. Aye.
He's just up for it every time. We need to put somebody on there to just stoning him.
Here.
I'm looking forward to it. I wasn't up for it yesterday, but I'm up for it today. You know, it's a nice wee 8 o'clock in the morning kick-off, so we're good to go. We're not getting up at mad 5 a.m. and all that to watch it. You know, so good stuff.
Are you watching it in the house, or are you going to a local club?
No, I'll just watch it in the house. Actually, you know, I don't really like it. There's not too many blue noises left here, so I'll be on my own, just watching the house. Drag open a bottle of single malt in the morning, 8 o'clock, will be good. My missus doesn't get back to 8 o'clock tomorrow night, so she's out of town. She's been out of town for a week, so it's been good.
Most people are opening a pint of milk at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I know you'll be out of town, Denver, by the time she comes home.
Aye, but you see, Foxy, what I think, you see, when I open at 8 o'clock, I think it's 3 o'clock in Glasgow. So it's good to go. We're good to go.
Okay. Right, boys. Right. Will the crowd play a big part for us tomorrow? The team needs a bit of backing, a wee bit of uplifting tomorrow. Will it be back to normal tomorrow, Albert?
Absolutely, mate. As long as somebody gives them a drink, they'll be fine. No, I mean, I think... So, they always play a big part of it, you know what I mean? Apart from we deny them water, no, I mean, it's shocking. But anyway, apart from that, definitely. I'm expecting a good sing-song tomorrow, what we usually get. Definitely. And we're winning tomorrow. Let's get it in our heads. We're winning tomorrow. Yep.
Right, Bridgeman, crowd important tomorrow. Give the players a bit of a lift.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm not sleeping.
He just scored a cold one.
I think the crowd's going to be really, really important, and it's now we need as many bears as possible to support the team and see them through. It's going to be a really tough 90 minutes. If it goes into extra time, God knows what's going to happen. Because we've had so many 120-minute games. It's not even worth counting them. They're killing us in that sense. So we need to go out and do it in the 90, in my opinion. And let's make sure we do it. Come on, Rangers, let's do it. Come on.
By the way, I don't think that's one thing that's a doubt about our side is the fitness of these boys. Even in that heat on Wednesday, they were still going at it right up until the 120th minute. And we've done well when we've had to go to extra time, when we absolutely thrashed the Tims 2-1 in the semi-final. We were the team, we were the fittest team, and it showed on the day. And that
was after playing 120, Fox.
Of course,
that was after playing 100. Anyway. Yeah. No, I don't want 120 minutes tomorrow, Fox. I want us beating them in the 90 without a shadow of a doubt. And I think I'm more than confident we will.
I don't see it going to extra time myself. I think there'll be a winner, and it should be us within 90 minutes. Does anybody else think that it could be a bit of a struggle? No takers for that question then.
Tomorrow's redemption.
I'll tell you what, Albert, you should have kept your mouth shut about peeing. I've been on the road for 2.5 hours. I've got 20 minutes to my destination, and I'm Boston for a fish. And you
Well, sort that boy out. Well, you much lost to me, bye.
Listen, I'm getting pulped to pillar for post here. I can't keep us going.
You're going to have a busy night tonight, Bully. I'm shivering here, Denver. I'm shivering here. He's no changed me yet. It's all went cold.
We'll get hey, folks, you need to get the show sponsored with Huggies.
Right. By the way, if that Oxchair's listening to this, I'll get pelters tomorrow. I'll say, what happened to that show last night?
Anyway, back to the border. Do you think Colin will have his usual tragic game tomorrow?
I think he'll have more than one controversial moment in the game. Let's hope it's for us rather than against us, but I doubt that somehow.
I think he'll be trying to do his best for them.
You know what's going to happen tomorrow is Devlin's going to run about kicking everybody, and there'll be a Rangers player will be the first one in the book. Nothing sure.
Yep. 100%.
I put my mortgage on that one.
Aye. 100%, pal. 100%. I've not got a mortgage. I'll put my gyro on it.
I have not got a mortgage either. I've got a house. I'll just put my house on it. Tell you.
Right, let's get down to the serious stuff now. Scorers and predictions. This is Oxy's favourite bit of the show. Right, we're going to go to you first. Blue Star.
3-1 for me, folks. 3-1.
3-1.
Yep.
And who's your goal scorers, mate?
Well, every time I've took him, he's let us down and he doesn't. So for me tomorrow, definitely Ruth, definitely Ken, and I'll go for wee Davis getting one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Albert?
3-0.
So do you think it's going to be that easy, do you?
Ruth, Ramsey and Bassey.
Oh. Bridgeman?
I'm going for 1-0. You'll be surprised with that. I'm going for Kent. Kent to score it.
God, that was a shocker, wasn't it? Bully boy. Bully boy. No,
mate, I'm going for a 4-0 to Rangers, and my goal scorers are Ruth 2, Kent 1, and Tavernier 1.
Oh, I'm going for 3-0. James Tavernier hat-trick. What are you laughing about? Look, let's be fair. The man was a Golden Boot winner in the Europa League, and along with Calvin Bassey and Ryan Kent made the team of the competition.
I know.
Absolutely.
And that's a thing that'll not get recognised here as well. And surely that boosts every one of the players' profiles, eh?
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. Fox, see on Tav, honestly, and I'll be the first to admit, I don't think he had a good game on Wednesday night, but I'll tell you what, through this tournament, that guy has been absolutely phenomenal. And for a right back to finish as top goal scorer in any European tournament is utterly unheard of. So the plaudits the guy should get. Granted, he never had his greatest game, but then the whole team didn't. But the plaudits he should get for that alone, we can't praise the guy enough. Tav in that tournament has been absolutely out of this world. Let's not kid ourselves on there. For a guy that's a right back, whether a few of them's been penalties or no, you've got to put penalties in the back of the net just the same, as we've seen how we lost it. For that guy to do what he's done in that one tournament, no even counting the league, but in the tournament alone, we can't praise him highly enough. He's been absolutely magnificent.
Yeah.
Can I say something on that, Foxy?
Of course you can, Bridge.
I think that there was a tremendous contest between Tavernier and their left back or left wing back, something like that. is it Coxage or Koskich or somewhere? Really, two really good players against each other. What a contest that was! I thought it was marvellous to watch.
I think I could talk about Tav all night. Anybody else want to add anything to that?
Yeah, Fox, is that actually with all with the heat?
No, left foot, right foot, and a header, mate. There we go.
My score's 3-1, and I think Roof will score one, Davis, and I think Tav will get his usual penalty. I think we'll get a penalty tomorrow.
Did I miss you? Did I miss you there for a couple of minutes, Andy? Sorry, I didn't see you.
I had my hand up for 20 minutes. Halfway I put your hand up and asked for a question, but I took it down because it started to ache.
Aye, I couldn't see you. You didn't have your
hand. A toilet break.
You don't need
We've just got to go out with the right attitude. As I said earlier on, pick the right look at his players, see who he thinks is up for it, and get them out. There should be no motivation needed. I know it's not the same as winning the UEFA Cup, what they wanted, but it's the start of the process of getting back and winning trophies back at him, and hopefully having a good run in Europe again. That, on the serious side, that's what we're wanting to achieve. We're all wanting that. It's time now. It's time to start winning. We won the league last year. We won the Scottish Cup. We've got to watch here. These buggers are catching up on us. Before I go, I don't want that to happen. I want to be well in front. You know what I mean? So come on, it's the start of getting a trophy, and it's the start of building a team. We're positive. Look, we're down, aren't we? But we've got to get up. It's game time tomorrow. Scottish Cup. I always love the Scottish Cup. Always love the Scottish Cup. It's the end of the season. We're the last team to play, so let's win it. You know what I mean? And that sticks in the memory, doesn't it? The last game you played this season, we've won the trophy. That would be nice for where we've been. We've had an horrendous season here. Ups and downs, great highs, great lows, lost good people out of the family. Yeah. It'd be fitting to win the trophy tomorrow for everything that's going on. Can you imagine if we win nothing? If we win nothing, that would be heartbreaking. And believe me, I can contemplate that anyway for what we put in this season.
I agree. I think it's very important for the players and for the fans that we finish on a high note, and it takes us into the summer feeling a lot better than we did in the last couple of days. I think that's a great point, Andy.
Can we just everybody stop talking about toilet breaks? Denver, bear again.
Right. Wait, I've got 15 minutes to get to the town of Pueblo. So I'm in southern Colorado as we speak. So just hold your tongue when you're peeing.
See, when you're driving through it, wind the windy down and shout Rangers Radio, right? And we want to hear you, right?
Right, lads, everybody pour a drink now. You'll be all right. That'll sort him out.
I'm going to send my drawers there to get them clean.
Andy McElroy's evil, by the way. Evil.
I was all right to come across you lot.
Denver, a wee point. How was the UEFA Thingby final? Was it well publicised over there in America?
No, not at all. It wasn't even on an English.
Not at all.
It wasn't even an English-speaking channel. It was a Spanish-speaking channel. It was on the telly. So that's what I had to watch it with Spanish-speaking, because it wasn't even RTD,
What did you have to ask him that for, Blue Star? I'll need to cut that out the broadcast. Of course it was. It was all over every American. The Wall Street Journal had it in front page news.
Front page of the Rocky Mountain News and all that.
That's it, Denver. You tell them. We're a worldwide club. Anyway,
no, folks, just in the sense that we knew it was Thingby or Europe, and Britain it certainly was. I was just wondering the likes of the States, because they're not really massive into their football,
There was two statements came out going back to Seville, both by the mayor. Well, one by the mayor and one by the people that own the Seville club. The mayor absolutely praised our fans, said they were a credit to football and everything else, great for business. And then the Seville mob who came out and said that Rangers fans caused the shortage of water. We drank out the taps and they couldn't What an absolutely terrible thing for MD to say after getting all that praise. I think he was a Tim.
And there must have been a Tim. I mean, the old Rangers scouting department, or the old no likes of back in the 90s, they were great. They went into Italy and got the only two Protestants out of Italy, Big Amoroso and Farini, you know what I mean? So we need them back at the club to sort these people for Spain out. I don't actually understand why they keep picking putting finals in Spain. What's this all about, apart from backhanders, isn't it? It's got to be backhanders, isn't it?
Anyway, we've been joined by a late caller here, a young lady that I know well. Good evening, Little Blue.
Good evening, how are you doing, guys?
How are you doing, Little Blue?
Evening,
Long
Doc.
time no hear from you.
I know, it's been a little while, hasn't it? I just want to say I'm absolutely gutted about what happened on Wednesday, but I'm so proud of them all for getting us to that point. And I'm pretty sure that hopefully next season we'll get to that point again. You know, I think the next couple of years will definitely do better. And I do have I trust in GVB. I really do. I trust in Gio. I think he'll get it right.
Well said, Little Blue. The one thing this Euro run's done is established the club is back on the international stage, and it has also progressed our fans to be acknowledged as being the best in the world. And I think that's one of the most important things that's happened out of this European run, apart from the money, which also helped.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You can't grumble about the money that's going to come in handy for sure. And I think on tomorrow, I think we'll. I'm going to say, I was saying 2-0, but I think it'll probably be either 2 or 3-1, depending on who's playing, of course. But I like to hope that even the young lads will get another little run at it.
Are you going to the game yourself tomorrow?
No, I'm not. I'm working night shift tomorrow, so I can't afford to go. So otherwise, I'll be absolutely shattered. But
by the way, we can get rid of this Billy boy as we're caring and bring you in, because that's what you do as a job, isn't it? You've looked after me a couple of times. We've met and had a wee beer, which I really enjoyed.
Oh, do you know what? I will absolutely love to have another drink with you again sometime. We'll definitely do it, and I'll make sure I don't bring the book fast this time.
Right, you lot can bugger off now, right? I've got a conversation going here.
All right, I'm so sorry to interrupt, and I'll leave you to it, okay? Enjoy the party.
Don't about them.
Hello, I can hear you. Who am I talking to?
It's Bridgeman here.
Nice hello, darling.
Nice to hear your voice.
Hello.
Oh, don't give me that darling thing. Just say hello.
Oh, you know you're my darling. Come on now. Between you and Fox. Right, I hope to catch up with you again soon anyway.
Okay.
Next season. All right.
Thanks very much. Thanks for phoning
Love
in.
you loads. Take care, everyone. Okay, speak to you later. Bye. Bye.
My heart has skipped a beat. There we go. Billy, you better get me on sleeping pills tonight.
Well, it'll be a sorry.
Ask Denver if he's okay.
Sorry, Andy. It'll be a
Sorry, till you start talking about loving beer.
He's cross-legged now.
No, why? 7 minutes to go.
Oh, I need it.
Oh, brilliant.
There's a policeman chasing him now for speeding.
What were you doing? They were chasing me on.
Sorry, officer. The nature calls.
Oh, dear. That's shocking.
Right, we're coming just about to the end of time now, guys. So I'll go round these all one at a time here, and you can say your final words and your final points. We'll start with you, Peter. Peter, say 5.
It was good to speak to you all. Thanks for taking my call. Let's go and do a bit of redemption tomorrow. Win this trophy. It's been too long. And let's make us the talking point for the good reason of the Scottish football.
Oh, well said, Peter. Denver, you still there?
I'm still here. 4-1 Rangers. And I'm going to pick Ramsey to come on and score the fourth goal and redeem himself. All the best, guys, and keep up the good work, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care.
Cheers,
Take
pal.
care, mate.
Cheers, pal. Cheers, mate.
Who else we got? Andy for Leeds.
Absolutely fantastic night. Really cheered me up there. Good laugh, good banter, and some good serious points as well. Always a pleasure to come in here.
And Juicy, I forgot about Juicy. We let him be dead serious for a while and then forgot about him. Juicy, sorry about that.
I think it's going to be at least 4 goals for the Gers tomorrow, guys. I think we're going to have way too much for them over 90 minutes. Be a nice afternoon cruise. We can all have a nice relaxing beer.
Cheers, Juicy. Thanks for phoning in.
Nice one.
Blue Star.
Hoping for a good win. Get us finish the season with a trophy. Onwards and upwards. Get behind our manager, the club, all our players. Put us on good footing for going into next season. 3-1 for me, and we want to see all our fans getting home, nice smiley faces and being happy. Onwards and upwards.
Thanks, Blue Star. I've just a wee note to Terry. Wind up the record player, but finishing up soon. Right. All bear.
Aye, a nice wee victory tomorrow would be lovely. I like to see a Rangers captain putting a couple above his head for a change. You know what I mean? We've seen it for a long time, so tomorrow is the start of a long trip back. So hopefully 3-1 tomorrow, 3-0 tomorrow for me.
Bally boy.
Aye, a brilliant show tonight, Fox. Fantastic, man. Honest to God, I've never laughed so much in my life. A brilliant laugh. Brilliant cause. I'd just like to thank all you guys. Well, no guys, all my patients tonight for asking me on. Aye, Fox. All Bear and Bridge, man. Thanks very much, guys. And if I can't get you sleeping tablets, I'll get you menopause tablets, because I like taking them and all seemingly.
And finally,
no, but on a serious note, let's win this trophy the morning. Get back to doing what we do best, and that's being successful. Come on, the Teddy Bears tomorrow, man. 4-0 to Rangers for me.
Right, Bridgeman.
Well, what can I say, Foxy? Marvellous night, absolutely superb night, as the guys have all said. Really hilarious, you know. And anybody's listening to us will wonder what on earth's happened, you know, with the way we've come off. Sad, slow start with a wee bit sadness, and now it's all hilarity. So just fantastic. And I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is this the biggest game of our season now is upon us tomorrow. So everybody get up there for the Rangers. Everybody get up there for the Rangers. And keep it going, because the Rangers need us. Keep it going.
Well, thanks to everybody who took part in the lobbies that we have on the different sites, and thanks for listening. I want to thank my mother and father for having me. My uncle Jimmy, who took me in my first Rangers game. Never mind that. Good night, people. Thanks for listening. Good night.
Very good.
Brilliant.
Well, I've never felt more like singing the blues when Rangers put 5 past in and the Rangers. Cha-cha-cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. When McAvenny scored the first, the beggars thought it was the first of many Rangers. Cha-cha-cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. It didn't take long to realise when Super Ali equalised. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha-cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Then up stepped Super A. It was a 30-yarder all the way. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha-cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Well, just put 5 past Dean Andrews or Rangers. You got me singing the blues. Then Andrews claimed he couldn't see when Super Ali made it 3 Rangers. You got me singing the blues. The Ibrox fans, well, they wanted more when Kevin Drinko made it 4 Rangers. You got me singing the blues. Well, I've never felt more like singing the blues when the Rangers put 5 past Dean Andrews or Rangers. You got me singing the blues. Well, Ibrox Park, it came alive when the bold Mark Walters, he made it 5 Rangers. You got me singing the blues. When Barry McNeil went home that night, he said to his wife, the Celtic are shite Rangers. You got me singing the blues. Well, I never felt more like singing the blues when Rangers put 5 past Dean Andrews or Rangers. You got me singing the blues. You got me singing the blues.
Just to win sleep now. Keep it going. Keep it going.